Okay, so anyhow, I am again, huh? Yeah. Give it a minute, see if anybody comes in here. Of course, getting ready again, that's normal. What ain't normal about that, huh? Yeah. Live stream health is in red. I should get used to that, right? So anyhow, yes, no doubt. Hey brother, how's it going? I hope it's going good. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the day of people trying to understand male anger. That's right. In our society, understanding why men are so angry. And I think that is self explanatory, at least it should be, right? But it seems it's not. I got a video I've made. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to be posting it probably after this live stream. I think you'll get a kick out of. Okay, I really do. But I wanted to talk a little bit about male anger because there's lots of really good reasons men are angry. But the female population, they have a problem understanding why we're angry, it seems, right? Yep. And then, of course, the simps, they're just going along to go along because they're so afraid they might scare all the women off, right? That's right. And it'd be like what I said to people tell me. Jerry told me once, well, you're going to scare all the women off. And I says, yeah, I sure am. I'm going to scare all the corruption off. That's right. I'm going to scare all the double standards and corrupt women and narcissist women. And I don't mind scaring women like that off. I don't mind scaring women like that off at all. Okay? And that's just the crux of it is I don't think a lot of people understood from the very beginning when I come up here that I was only fighting for what was right for men because nobody else was standing up for men. Our society was bashing men down left and right, and we all know this. To be born a male in today's society is like a disease, isn't it? You're smashed down by other men, the simps, and you're smashed down by your media. You're smashed down by everything around you just because you was born with a penis between your legs. Somehow, women became above men. Somehow, men became like obsolete. When they made the movie A World Without Men. And there's actually a movie that was produced called A World Without Men. And you see feminist women who've made them statements, okay? And so I look at the whole picture, and why would you understanding to the women out there to understand why MGTOW would exist, to understand why would men go in their own way. Oh, well, there must be male haters or female haters, right? Because you're MGTOW, you must be a woman hater. Oh, you're TFL, well, that's because you're a loser. You're not just an angry, bitter woman hater, you're also a loser. Oh, you're incel. Yeah, that's all you ever thought about was getting laid. Yep. And we don't give you the time of day because you're a nice guy. And we don't trust nice guys. I'm just giving y'all the hypocrisy that us men have heard for years and years and years. You know what it was like for me when I first came up online and I did my first True Force Loneliness video. You only had 10 minutes on a video that you could make on YouTube, and Google didn't own it. And I made a video and I went over 10 minutes by 30 seconds and it wouldn't go up. So now I either have to edit it or start all over, as I just start all over with such a short video anyhow, right? And I had to train myself to watch my time and watch what I say so that I wouldn't go over 10 minutes, because I could go over 2 seconds over 10 minutes, it'd go up. 3 seconds over 10 minutes, and it wouldn't go up. But I'll tell you what, I was attacked, and I was attacked, and I was attacked. Matter of fact, I got a real eye-opener. I hadn't even done my research into politics hardly yet, and I'd give the name to TFL. And I was just diving into researching why the hell are we treating each other this way? And this is what I was doing. My whole goal was to research and find out why men and women are treating each other the way we're treating each other. Why is there so many men that can't get a date in their life? And for the men who do got a date in their life, why are these couples treating each other like complete dirt? Okay? And so I started my research. And I made my True Force Loneliness video, and I got attacked. And I got attacked. And then I made a video that really astounded me, it floored me, it caused me to even look deeper. Okay? I made my second video up was called Men and Women's Rights. And in that video, I said, legally wise, don't take me wrong, that men and women should have the same rights legally wise in the court system and within the laws, within society. That's what I said in that video. I had a female come up under that video and call me every name in the book. How dare me say that? Okay, and of course that was a big eye-opener, right? And so I started looking harder and harder and harder. And meantime, I got attacked harder and harder and harder. And the more I got attacked, the more I kept coming back. And that is really where this comes from. And, you know, it's pathetic that we've went this direction, but over the years, I've watched it get worse and worse and worse. And up until today's time, the only people that I've seen that was truly honestly speaking for men, I know people are going to say when I came online, the pickup artist industry was already here. MRA was being run by Paul Elam, and he was already here. But when I dug into the root cause, I couldn't find nobody talking about the root cause at all. And not even Paul Elam. And when I brought the root cause up and tried to get a hold of Paul Elam, and why don't you start showing where this problem come from, not just the symptoms? Because this is what MRA did. They focused on the symptoms, the symptoms, the symptoms, the symptoms. That was all created by the social engineering. And when you brought up a root cause, which means you got to point at the people at the top, your government, your bankers, your powers to be, your Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. I just like to call them the powers to be, because this is passed downhill and this is deliberately done. This is a repeat of history. People don't understand that, but Paul Elam blew that off. Blew that off and blew that off. They ignored it. And they kept going with the symptom, the symptom. Now, that wasn't that they wasn't telling the truth, because the symptoms they're showing is the truth. And it is why men are angry, okay? But to understand why it's going down, you know, Paul Elam would say, call your congressman, call your senator, okay? Let's get these laws changed like as if they was an accident. There was no accident. When you really dig in and do your research, you find out none of this is an accident. There ain't no politician, there ain't no congressman or senator that's going to change this for you, because it was never an accident. This has happened in Great Rome. What we see going on right now in America happened in Great Rome. People don't look, they don't do their studying, they don't do their research. Okay? And then, of course, we got sports. You know, and if you think about it, if you go back to the very beginning, the first time they built an arena for sports, and of course that took off. Now we have soccer, we have basketball, we have baseball, we have football, we have a Super Bowl every year. And you say, but that was for entertainment. No, that was more about division than it was entertainment. Most people don't realize that sports was originally created to create a division between people, which is exactly what sports has done. I understand you may like football, you may like this or that, but to understand it was original purpose was for division. It's no different than now. Okay, we have all this division going on, and the man that's in this chat right now typing away, he sees it as well as I see it. He wants to bring the manosphere together as well as I do. So for all this time I've been doing all this, the only other person I saw that ever successfully stuck around and fought for the men was Steve Hoka. Myself and Steve Hoka. Oh, you had another couple guys out there doing it, but they were sort of like Paul Elam. They would not dive into the cause to understand the root cause, and then so that you could understand where the problem come from. No, that was to be buried. That was not to be talked about. That's taboo. Okay? And now we have When in Doubt, who has come up with this idea and who is fighting for men. And we have MGTOW, men going their own way. Okay? Fighting for men. It's awesome. It's great. It's outstanding that we have this. And men going their own way, for years, it was like when MGTOW first come out, my first thought frame, this is where people don't understand what actually transpired. So this is the reason I wanted to do this live stream. My first thought frame goes with, I was thinking about the couples. I was thinking about what happened to my cousin. I was thinking about what happened to another friend of mine, Rick Timberland. And I was thinking how the court system's bias against the men in the family unit within general. And I was thinking about Peter Nolan, how angry he was, and he had a right to be, just like my cousin Rick Timberland, when the family court system raped him of his children, his home, all of his belongings. Rick Timberland, who worked married to this woman for 22 years, had kids with her, okay? She stayed at home. She was a stay at home mom. He brought in the money, supported his family, and then she went out behind his back while he was at work and met somebody else and dumped him on his butt and used the court system and took his house and took all of his furniture and took all of his belongings, took his vehicles except for one, okay? Left him the clothes on his damn back and one vehicle on the street. How angry he was. How angry Peter Nolan was. So when MGTOW come out, my first thought frame was I thought about these guys and I looked at TFLers as, you're not MGTOW because you're TFL. Now that was actually a wrong thought from me. Okay? It really was. That's the reason I'm telling you this. I told you I'm brutally honest and I want you to know the truth, okay? I don't want you to know bullshit. I want you to know the truth. So this was my thought frame at the time. So therefore TFL was a MGTOW. But in reality, if I would have just backed my own ass up and thought about it, I'd have realized that TFL should go MGTOW. Because if a TFL goes MGTOW, he's going to be lifting some of that stress off his shoulders from the constant rejection. And what would he be getting with a woman for anyhow? So he can be abused and taken over by the court system and lose his kids and lose everything like Rick Timberland did or Peter Nolan? So now do you understand why it came out that from TFL that the majority of MGTOWers or TFLers in denial? Now you understand where that sort of came from? And you understand why I've changed my opinion about that too. Because of people like When in Doubt, who are fighting for men. And I thank him for that. because so many other men's had nobody standing up for them for long time now. Okay? Now we finally have some other men standing up for men. We had Paul Elam, but the problem I saw with that was the guy's a plant. He's an agent. It's just like Deborah Cooper. I ran under her this morning. If you go up on YouTube and you do a true force loneliness search on YouTube, you're going to find this shield, this plant, this wicked female who's giving dating scene advice, coaching and dating scene advice by Deborah Cooper. No, no. What she's really doing is bashing men. What she's really doing is teaching people how to not have a successful relationship so that we'll fall apart and break up. She's male bashing. She's fitting right into the agenda of destruction of the family unit. And for anybody that goes and listens to this gal, the advice you're going to get will only lead to your own self-destruction. She's a plant. She's up here to keep the agenda going, keep the family unit broke up, keep the genders divided. But the good thing about MGTOW, men going their own way, is exactly what needs to happen. Women deserve to have men walk away from them. We have so many narcissist women that have self-entitlement issues. Okay, we have this going on. No, I can't talk about that particular family name. They'll strike me out, man. They'll take me out of here, So I'm not going to talk about them Clinton people. I'm not going to talk about them Bushes or the Barack Obamas or anything like that, okay? Or the Rock Me Fellers or the Rock Me Childs. I'm not going to dive into that area because they don't like it when I dive into that area. It seems I've lost 3 channels diving into that area. It seems I've had feds at my door and a spotlight through my window, and I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me because I dove into that area. So now I'm not diving into that area. I'm going to stay right here with men going their own way and Project Mayhem, yes, by When in Doubt. Okay, so we're going to stay in that. We're going to stay in that arena, and I want to encourage TFLers to understand that going your own way is okay for you. You should go your own way. You ain't getting nothing anyhow, and if you do, you're going to get disaster. You're going to get some narcissist, self-entitled woman. You're going to get lots of drama, lots of selfishness, and you're going to find out you are better off being alone. Now, that's to the TFLers. You're literally going to find out you're better being alone. Is TFL real? Of course it is. PUA couldn't exist if there wasn't TFL. PUA counted on TFLers to line their pockets. And it was TFLers that were buying all their merchandise. Okay, so the reality is, of course it does. But see, When in Doubt's right. It is changing the mindset. It is changing your mindset, going your own way, and becoming happy from within and becoming strong. See, When in Doubt's right. He's totally correct. And he's up here fighting for men. It's like I told Steve Hoka. Up until recently, it was like Steve and I were the really only people that were really fighting for men. Oh, yeah, Paul Elam put out a lot of good work, but he also passed over the men's rights movement to female feminist Karen Stroud. Now, why would Paul Elam pass a men's rights movement over to females? Well, because Paul Elam was an agent from day one. Karen Stroud's no different. She don't care about men. Yeah, she has to put on the Hollywood act. She has to tend to care about men so that she can line her pockets. Where do you think she's getting all of her money to float all over the fucking country and all over Canada and into the United States and do all these seminars? You know, she ain't hosting these seminars or these meetings for nothing. She has to have money to travel on. She has to have her hotel. She has to have food to eat. She has to pay for the rental of the room. She has to pay for any refreshments. She has to pay for the yang. She has to pay for the advertising and the promoting to get the people there. Where do you suppose she's getting all that money? Because she's a plant. She's just like Paul Elam. You know, as a man, if you want Paul Elam to give you counseling or to give you help that when in doubt will give you for free, that I'll give you for free, that Steve Hulk will give you for free. Well, if you go to Paul Elam, this man wants like $150, $200 an hour. Paid up front. He's not going to help you. He's going to want it up front. And then he's never going to talk about the root cause. He ain't going to tell you where it came from. He don't want you to know it was socially engineered, that it's not an accident. He don't want you to know that. He wants you to have false hope that you can call your congressman or senator and that they will magically, they just made it, it was an accident. We accidentally made it, put it in the law that men could never be a victim of domestic violence. You know that was an accident. We didn't mean that. BS, they did too. They did too mean it. There was never no accident. You're not going to call and get any senator or any congressman to change the laws and to start being fair to men in the family court system. No, 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 no. It wasn't an accident. We got to make lots of money. Steve asked for money and donations for his time. You know, I don't ask for money and donations in my time. But I'm not going to criticize Steve for asking for donations neither. Because, see, he's not twisting your arm or asking you to. He asked a question for donations, okay, and it's up to on an individual basis if they want to. If you like Steve and you want to give him a donation, you do it from your heart because you want to. Okay, that's how I feel about that. So that's to this Turbo Lover. Steve Hoke, yes, has asked for money. He's asked for donations. But you know, even when in doubt, he has some ideas about a press and making a paper and putting that paper across the country to try to spread his word. I'm not shooting when in doubt down for that, but I'm going to tell you something that's going to cost money. I don't know anybody's just going to hand him a free press. And if he goes for licensing to run that press, that's going to cost money too. And then it's going to take approval. And if we're ever going to start standing up and fighting back, we have to start standing together. And if we want to get the message out there, no different than Karen Stroud, let's say we want to have a men's rights meeting, or we want to have a MGTOW meeting, or a TFLer meeting, or we want to bring the manosphere together in different cities, and we want to have speakers. Maybe we're going to have When in Doubt. Maybe you want Steve Hoka. You know what I'm saying? Follow where I'm going here. This is going to cost money, guys. They're not going to just give you a room on a remote or somewhere where you can speak, where you can have enough seating for the people. And getting people there, you can advertise it for free on YouTube. But how many are going to actually see it? Do you understand what I'm saying? That you're going to want to get something put in the area's newspaper? You're going to want to get an ad or something, put it in that newspaper in that area where you're going to be ahead of time. You're going to want to get videos out there, and you're going to want to let people know where it's at. You're going to need to promote it. And you're going to need to get an ad in the local newspaper or something in the area you're going to be. For people who are working and don't get time to get online, they might read the newspaper in the morning. They'll see it and they'll, oh, okay, yeah. And they're going to want to go there. Well, did you know that money, that room is going to cost money? You're not going to get it for free. That's right. And it's going to cost money for when in doubt to leave where he lives to go to this point, or Steve Hokel where he lives to go to this point. And during that trip, they're going to need the financing to make that trip. They're going to need motel to stay in. They're going to need food to eat. You can't just quit your job. You quit your job to go do this, and you come back, and now what? You got to find work all over again? Maybe you could set it up for your vacation time. But even if you set it up for your vacation time and you got your job, you're still going to have money. Because you're not going to run if you drive your car, if you take a plane, or if you take a bus. It doesn't matter how you go, you're still going to cost money. It's still going to cost money because somebody's got to go there and book the room ahead of time. Now, I'm not trying to be mean about this. I'm just telling you the factual truth. I would love to bring the Manosphere together, and I know When in Doubt would love to bring the Manosphere together. But I am going to be honest with you. You have to think ahead about this. If we were to work together to take a stand, which is what needs to happen, it's going to take people hitting the streets. When in Doubt's talked about that with Project Mayhem. People are going to get off their ass, off the computer, and go hit the streets, right? Then, what are you going to hit the streets with? Are you going to pass out flyers, or what are you going to do? See, you're going to have a plan together on what you're going to do to spread this, to get more people to get involved, more men to get involved. Are you going to put picket signs up? Are you going to protest? Are you going to just go push out flyers? What are you going to do when you're hitting the streets? So you got to put a plan together for that. And if you decide you want to push out flyers, then you're going to get flyer rolled up and you're going to get printed. See, so we're not going to get around the monetary system because, unfortunately, I don't see a way around it. You know? And, for myself, if I was going to provide counseling, I would charge nobody nothing. But that's me. I do what I do from my heart. I always have. I don't monetize my channel, and I never will. I don't ask you for money. I've never asked anybody for money. The entire time I've been here, I've never asked anybody for one dime. Okay, that's no lie. That's fact. That's me. I don't ask people for money because I don't want your money. I want to help you. It's like spreading truth. If you're going to tell truth about what's going on in society, you don't charge money for truth. People who do that to me is just disgusting, okay? That's how I feel about that. It's just disgusting. It needs to come to an end. I could give counseling. No, I cannot talk right now. Quit calling me. I can give counseling, but it's just going to be teaching people coping skills. If I was to do counseling, that's what it'd be. It'd be for coping skills, give them ideas. But see, on an individual basis, you have to be willing and wanting to listen to what's being said and try to come up with ideas yourself as well and put it into practice in your own behaviors in your own life. It's no different with When in Doubt's message. Find happiness from within yourself and become stronger and make yourself happy. And I can understand it's hard for TFLers. They grew up in a society that in their face their whole life. They got to see in the movies. They got to see it in the mall. They got to see it at the park. They got to see it in the grocery store. Couples together. And they have the natural want to meet a woman and have kids and maybe grow old with her and have a family. That's natural. That's normal. It really is. It's natural. It's normal. But then they get rejected over and over and over and over. I've been here a million times. I've talked about this for years. You can't keep, and they do everything that everybody ever asked them. A true TFL went out there and asked for advice from his friends. He had a job, he was working, and he dressed up nice. He wasn't no slob. And he went out there and he did everything he could. And some of your TFLers got desperate and they went to pickup artist industry. How do you think the pickup artist industry got up off the ground to begin with? Because TFLers were given the money to learn how to meet a woman. And I found that absolutely disgusting and sickening. That you're going to have to learn how to meet another human being? Did you not grow up in a school and you went to school and the little boys and girls played down the street? Where was you? Oh, that's right. As soon as they got a certain age and puberty kicked in and social engineering kicked in, suddenly that boy and girl that used to play down the street as kids now became divided. It fires me up. It makes me sick. It makes me disgusted. See, you don't need a special skill to meet another human being. It's just like game. You hear the media push it all the time. Gotta have game in the day, insane. Oh, so you want to be a skilled liar, a skilled manipulator, a con artist. They gotta have game, right? Because that's what game is. So you're gonna build that relationship on deception, are you? Yep, the foundation to a successful relationship has been built on the side of a mountain that has a fucking steep ass grade. It's been in loose dirt, so it'd slide down the mountain and fall apart. Or it's been built on quicksand. This is where it's gone. And then, thanks to pornography, I got nothing against sex. I understand you have a need or a want for sex, but it's been taken from the front of the list, put to the front of the list, and it's been used as a weapon to make people think only about sex. And because of that, of course, then love has been replaced by sex. And sex is not love. Never has been and never will be. It was another tool used to cause division, to destroy the family unit. That's all it was. It was another tool used as a weapon. Your natural desire to want sex is natural, but it's not natural to have it used as a weapon and promoted. Hold on a minute. She's not going to give up. I'm in a live stream. I will call you back. I'll call you later, okay? Okay, bye. Yep, she didn't give up, so I had to tell her, I'm in a live stream. Bye. And Wincels. Yes, I think that's a great name. And I think you Wincels know who you are now, right? Okay. And I think that you also should, instead of being Wincel, you should be a man going your own way. That would be my opinion. Of course, that's my opinion. But if you want to fly under that label, at least change it to Wincel instead of Incel. And work on your own self to make yourself happy from within your own self. And for TFLers, it's a must. You're not going to change what's going down. And if we ever change it, it's only going to be through standing together. And if we ever can stand together and work together, then and only then, through numbers of people working together for the same thing, can we take the power back, as DL would say. Okay? Only then can we start taking the power back. And they're not going to just hand you it. There's going to be friction. They're going to try to block you. They're going to try to stop you. And they may pull out low tactics like sending thugs with badges. They may pull low tactics out like using mental health laws, like they did with the red flag laws for guns. You got to realize something. There is plants on YouTube that are here being paid by the powers to be and told what to do. And they're doing it for. No, you're not going to disconnect it. Close your ass. Am I still live? Offline. Uh oh. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. I have